Hello guys, Arkan here. I just want to take some time to tell you guys that we have a Patreon set up for the channel. It's an additional way you can support us. So I will put the link in the YouTube cards and in the description. Thanks for checking it out and I hope you enjoyed the video. Next day. As daylight emerges, it's time to embrace the start of a fresh day. What to do now? Okay, so, what did we do last time? We did lunch service, so let's help Gunther with cleaning again. After getting some breakfast, you join Gunther in cleaning work. With your combined efforts, you make quick work of the cleaning and soon the bar is ready for opening. Before you know it, the sun has set. After having dinner together, you and Gunther are ready to start the evening at the tavern. It's about time. Get ready. As Gunther opens the flaming flagon for the night, the guests start to take their seats. Okay, let's continue doing attentive service. Okay, we already read this. It's closing time. The last wave of customers have taken their leave. Good job. Here's your share. Gunther hands over 10 coins. Have a good day tomorrow. After the long day, you feel so tired you immediately pass out as soon as you get into your bed. The morning sun shines upon your face. After a relaxing breakfast, you are ready for the day. Where should I go? Oh, the bathhouse is now available. Let's check it out. You enter the bathhouse and spot the proprietor behind the counter. Hey, Finn, was it? Yep, that's me. Good. I have a bit of a bad memory. Yeah, tell me about it. Ah, yes, at least we have each other's company then. I heard Gunther ask about your children. Where are they? Oh, they're all grown now and went off to start their own businesses and projects outside of Feldo. Sometimes I hate how large the kingdom is, but that's how life goes. Big family? Yep. I used to be an adventurer until I got news about my first child. After he was born, I knew I wanted a big family. I couldn't keep risking my life dungeon diving, so I started up this place about a decade ago. Wow, that's wild. Those were quite some times. Now weary adventurers and townfolk come here to enjoy my bathhouse and relax. Bathhouses are very unfamiliar to me. So this is your first time on your own, right? Yeah. Don't worry, Finn. Let me give you a quick rundown again. The purple rhino leans closer to you. Here's how it works. 2 main rules. No running and no clothing in the bathrooms. There's the Delphinium pool. It's the largest pool and where most people go to rinse off and soak for a while. Then we have the Narcissus pool. It's a smaller area, but we have refreshments and a sauna. Sauna? It's an enclosed area that is filled with steam. People like to gather there to sweat and chit-chat. Sweat? I thought they came here to get clean. Oh, sweet youth, sweating is one of the body's many ways of clearing out toxins. It's also beneficial to blood circulation. There are many therapeutic benefits. That's very fascinating. And then there's my new private pool, Belladonna. I've got myself a lovely tub and I use the space for massages as well. By the way, your fur looks a lot better. I see you've used a conditioner. Oh, our bond with him went up. Cool. Oh yes, that really made my fur feel soft. Thanks again. It is my pleasure. Now, what can I do for you today? What would you like to do? Talk or Delphinium pool 5 coins, Narcissus pool is 10 coins, and the Belladonna pool is 30 coins, and we need a charisma of 10. Oh, I wonder how we'll get that. So let's try something simple for now, and let's just talk. Oh, so there's nothing to talk about since there's no other options, just go back. What can I do for you today? Let's try the Delphinium pool, 5 coins. Marcus hands you a basket with a towel. There's a rack for the baskets. Be sure to rinse off before entering the pool. Yes, of course. You strip and place your clothing into the basket and head into the bath. You rinse off and take a dip in the soothing waters. The heat melts away the tension in your body and you feel relaxed. Various adventurers chat among themselves, but you fail to hear anything interesting as you soak. After a while, your skin starts to prune. It's time to go. Feeling refreshed, you leave and avoid dirtying yourself for the rest of the day. Your charm increases as a result of the bath. Oh, I thought it was charisma. The charm increases as a result of the bath, so we just take more baths until we can try the Belladonna pool. Okay, cool. After the long day, you feel so tired you immediately pass out as soon as you get into your bed. Next day, the morning sun shining down on your face is rather annoying this morning. Grunting, you force yourself to get up and start the day. As you cling to your pillow, you hear knocking sounds at your door. Oh, there's something new. Rika, Pop, it's past noon already. Seems like you overslept today. You quickly get up from the bed and put on your clothes and let Gunther in. Sorry, I'll get ready to help you. No need to. Terrance is at the backyard. Go down and assist him with a quick shower. It's usually my job, but I need to fix some bent chairs. Give Terrance a shower? I don't know if I'm up for the job. Well, you have to try it sooner or later. And I bet you'll love the work. Walking down the stairs to the courtyard, you stop and take in the view. You see the massive draft horse getting ready for a shower. He is back onto you, and you see his loincloth is already neatly folded and laid off to the side. Gulping slightly, you enter the courtyard and stand behind Terrance. He doesn't seem to be aware of your presence as he is busy filling a large wash basin with water from a pump. Okay, so we finally get to see Terrance in his full glory. The loincloth he's usually wearing barely covers his privates, and now it is fully seen. A giant cauldron is boiling on a large bonfire nearby. Terrance, I'm here to give you your shower. I know Gunther normally does it, but he's really busy and asked me to do it, and I didn't mind. The horse turns and looks at you, smiling slightly. He nods and continues to fill the bucket. As you stand there, he walks over and picks up the cauldron by the side handles and easily pours the boiling water into the basin. Just a minute there, Finn. Let me get the water set up and I'm good to go. The water hisses and steams as boiling water hits the colder water, and when finished, Terrance sticks a hand into the basin and swirls it around for a moment. Perfect. He turns slightly to regard you once more. You can't help but swallow as you admire the muscles on his broad back and his firm rump. His tail sways in the gentle breeze, and you step forward, picking up a cloth from a ledge, as well as a large bit of soap from a dish. Okay, lad, start with my back. It's the one place I really cannot do myself. Downside to being my size. Let me sit down here so you all don't have to stretch too much. Grabbing a stool that was nearby, the horse heavily sits down, and you idly wonder if the stool can support his massive bulk. Okay, so we get a nice view of Terrance's backside and his rump. Okay, very nice. It seems to bend slightly, but holds and you walk up to Terrance. Noticing some dust and dirt in his mane, you start brushing it off before dipping the cloth in the water. Sure, no worries. So, how was your day? You hear the horse snort and see his head shake slightly as you lather some soap on the cloth. Swallowing, you press the cloth against the back on his neck and slowly begin to clean it. His fur is short, so you can work the soap into it easily, and as you slowly work your hand around his neck, you hear Terrance sigh in satisfaction. Okay, so it is now closer, a little bit closer, and it says that Terrance is enjoying the lathering. Oh, that's the spot. Oh, same as ever, hauling a heavy cart here to get stuff to haul it all there. It's hard but honest work. As Terrance talks about his job, you zone out slightly and concentrate more on washing his back and shoulders. You take your time, rubbing and kneading the muscles as you work the soap in, lathering the horse's entire back before grabbing a small cup and rinsing him off. Seeing a few stubborn stains, you redouble your efforts. There's a few stains I didn't get. Let me try again. Don't worry about it. Take all the time you need. I ain't going anywhere till you're done. Don't hesitate to use those claws if you gotta. Gunther does all the time. You pause and look at your claws. Nervously, you push them against the horse's back to try and scrape off the last few bits of stubborn dirt. A contented whinny from Terrance makes it obvious he doesn't mind. Don't be worried about hurting me. My hide's as thick as any leather you can imagine. The two of you engage in more idle banter as you give Terrance's back another wash and rinse. Eventually, the job is done to your satisfaction and you step back to admire your work and also find yourself admiring the muscular backside of the horse. Hold on, lad. Good, feels clean. Now do you want to keep going? I can manage the rest on my own, but I admit it's easier when someone else does it. Before you can say anything, Terrance stands up and stretches. Okay, and now we got a lower view this time, and it is showing his balloons and his duck. Shaking himself, he casually continues to stretch, either unaware or not caring that you are now getting a front row seat to see not only his toned rump, but seeing his balloons and even his chicken swaying between his legs. Do you agree to continue? Of course, yes. Gulping, you take a step back from the horse and nervously juggle the soap between your hands. While many emotions are running through your mind and you're not quite sure if this is the time and place, you decide that it might help you figure out exactly what you are feeling towards the massive equine. I mean, sure, not very sporting of me to only half wash your back. I'm sure if Gunther needs me, he'll call out. If Gunther sent you to help me shower. Terrance laughs for a moment before continuing. He knows exactly how long it can take. He's helped me enough times. I doubt he'll rush you. You don't know whether to feel relieved at that information, as you wonder if there's anything to be read into it, or if it's just a plain statement of fact from Terrance. Shrugging slightly, you dip the cloth into the still hot water and lather it with the soap before pressing it against the horse's lower back. Pausing for a moment, you can't help but stare at Terrance's rear. It's just as large and muscled as the rest of him, and a part of you is dying to just rub it, squeeze it, and see just how firm it is. Taking a deep breath and ignoring the butterflies in your stomach, you do exactly that. Sorry, your behind is a bit dusty. I'll have to scrub a bit to clean it. Are you saying I have a dirty arse, lad? Your face flushes with embarrassment, and you try and stutter out an apology before Terrance's laughter calms your nerves. I know what you mean, lad. Don't get flustered. I tend to sit on some pretty dusty benches and stones over the day. The horse pauses for a moment before speaking a bit softly. I get it might be a bit too much so you can skip. You hurriedly interrupt him. No, I don't mind, really. I mean, it's just a butt, right? You press extra hard to prove the point, and Terrance emits a slightly startled whinny, but it turns into a sigh of contentment as your hands begin to knead away. The dirt is gone in no time, but you continue to rub, squeeze, and knead the horse's rump. Oh yeah, right. You quickly remember there is more to this than just Terrance's ash, and you quickly move to his thighs and calves, paying them just as much attention. You remember a certain tool Gunther mentioned, a pick to clean hooves, and you quickly spot it and pick it up. Can you let me clean your hooves now, Terrance? Terrance's reply is a bit distracted sounding, almost like he was lost in thought.
What? All right. Aye, thanks, friend.
It takes a few minutes to clean the dirt and pebbles out of each of his hooves, and once done, you grab a comb and briskly brush out his tail. As you brush, you hear Terrance speak, his voice playful sounding.
Much obliged, lad. The old tiger sometimes forgets my hooves and tail. I'll definitely be telling Gunther how thorough ye are. But speaking on being thorough,
His tail flicks away from your hand and he bends forward, placing one hoof on the stool. You feel your chicken tenting in your pants as you get an extremely close-up view of everything the horse has to offer. His tail even lifts, exposing his tail hole.
still feels just a wee bit dirty, lad. As I said, too much dust and dirt in my line of work. Could you give my backside one more quick wash to make sure you got it all?
I mean, you think for only a split second before answering. Yes. Taking the cloth again, you start eagerly rubbing the horse's behind. This time there isn't any cleaning. You are simply filling up his ash and enjoying it. The happy sighs and neighs coming from Terrance is a good indication he's enjoying it too. You do, though, carefully run the cloth over his hole, and while this causes a few slight shudders from Terrance, you notice his balloons twitch and decide that doing anything else there might be overstepping things. With one final two-handed squeeze, you step away. There, that's the cleanest butt I've seen in years. Terrance runs his hands over his rump, and you feel your chicken throb again as he casually runs a finger over his tail hole, pushing gently against it. You don't know if he's teasing you or just checking, but you appreciate the view. The horse turns and you can't help but stare as his is now slightly erect and twitches slightly as he talks. Okay, so Terrance has faced Fen, and we now get a full view of his front side. Actually, there was a full view also earlier, but this is more closer now.
Amazing job, lad. Many thanks. You have no idea how much I appreciate this.
No problem, Terrance. Glad to help. You force yourself to look up to Terrance's face, and you see he has another slight grin. Sitting down on the stool, you see his eyes dart down to your own bulge. You feel your face turn a bit red under your fur, and you quickly reposition yourself so your own isn't as noticeable. When the horse speaks, there is a definite sly tone to it.
Well, if you have the time, I'd be willing for you to wash my front too. You're doing such a good job and seem to be enjoying yourself as well. What you say, friend? Like to have this old horse wash his chest too?
Got to go, or let me help you out. Of course, let's help him out. You stop to consider the offer. The hardness in your pants is screaming yes, and while this might be going a little too far, you admit you desperately want to rub the horse's chest. Okay, I'm kinda nervous a bit because it says that we might be overstepping the boundary, so I hope we're not ruining things or ruining our relationship with Terrance right now. I hope he is enjoying it and the feeling is mutual. Let's just see. Something about this gentle giant speaks to you, and you want to see how far you can go. I mean, if you're okay with it, yeah, I'd like to help you more.
Wouldn't have offered if I wasn't okay with it.
Nodding, you grab the cloth and begin to lather it up again. As you reach out, Terrance stops you.
One thing, I know you're a bit shy, so I'm just telling you now. You can do whatever you want, okay? I know a shower's all about getting clean and you're doing a great job there, but...
He stops with a grin that says everything you need to know. You gulp, but nod, stepping forward to get as close to the horse as you can. Terrance raises his arms over his head and looks at you eagerly, waiting to see what you're about to do.
Oh, that is so nice.
And what you do is manage to accidentally soak the front of your tunic with the washcloth. Stepping back in dismay, you look at your now wet tunic and frown. Terrance, for his part, is snickering quietly.
Sorry, lad. Bit funny, but you can spare the clothes from getting wet by just doing it naked.
Your ears burn as you hear the suggestion. You never would have thought to have gotten naked, and now that Terrance has mentioned it, you feel both a deep embarrassment and a burning desire about it. Oh, Gunther would kill me if he found out I did something like that. The horse looks at you incredulously for a moment before laughing.
The blazes he would. He's always naked when giving me a shower, so why would he care if you were?
Wait, really?
Yes, for that exact reason. Keeps his clothes from getting wet or dirty and a few other reasons.
You pause to think about this information. Modesty says that you should remain clothed, regardless of what happens. Everything else says that if Gunther does it, you don't mind?
Not at all. Be lying if I said I wasn't curious to the same degree myself.
With that, you begin to strip. Your tunic and undershirt are a bit difficult to remove due to them now being wet, but eventually they come off and you fold them and put them off to the side. Your trousers take no time and you pause, clad only in your undergarment, which you note with some embarrassment are straining to contain your. Terrance notices and smiles gently.
No worries, lad. We're all men here, right?
He reaches down and squeezes his own massive member as if to reassure you and taking a deep breath. You remove that last bit of clothing and stand fully nude before the horse. Okay, and now Fen has removed his underwear and is now fully erect for Terrance to see. You hear a sharp intake of breath and you watch his eyes go over your body, pausing to obviously admire it. Blushing furiously, you quickly grab the cloth and step close to Terrance and begin to scrub his chest, hoping that will distract him from you. As you lather up his pecs, you strain a bit to get through the thick patch of hair on his chest. But eventually, you're pleased to notice that you're making headway. You fail to notice that just as much soap is getting onto you as Terrance. Pausing to admire your efforts, you realize that as you worked, you had leaned more into Terrance's massive leg and are now essentially sitting on his thigh. And Terrance has one arm around your back to stabilize you. Shrugging, you accept it for what it is and return to your job at hand. Taking the time now to just enjoy yourself, you start to spend more time squeezing and kneading Terrance's pecs and abs than really doing any washing. Sure, there's soap and water involved, but it's definitely taking a secondary role. You even feel brave enough to pay particularly close attention to his nipples, using your thumb to make both of them erect in turn, which gets you a slight shudder and a happy sigh from the horse.
That's the spot. You're doing well, lad. Wouldn't be lying if I said I'm enjoying the treatment you're giving me.
You give Terrance a shy look, but say nothing, continuing to explore his massive upper body.
I mean, I've heard the comments from the guys in the tavern, the crude comments, the lustful desires.
He stops and gives you a thoughtful look. Reaching over to the basin, he grabs the ladle and uses the hand that was around your back to begin to rinse the water off each of you. You wonder why he didn't use his other hand, but when you look down, your eyes boggle at the sight. Oh, you see that Terrance was using his other hand to hold back his now fully erect chicken. Okay. I think the next scenes might be too sexual for me to fully narrate on YouTube since Terrance's duck is fully upright now, erect now, and I will have to just skip ahead and maybe provide previews of the naughty scenes along the way, and I will give you guys a summary of what they did after. Okay, so I will see you in a bit. Do you agree to wash Terrance's privates? A big yes. Okay, so this view just shows Fen is ready to do some oral cleaning of Terrance's massive member. Okay, so Fan's expression changed a bit since he's asking Terrance when's the last time he emptied his own balloons. Okay, so we now have an animation of Fan stroking Terrance's massive member, and he is blipping too. How nice. Okay, so it says that Fen is using his pecs to pleasure Terrance's massive member, and it's still animated. And now Fen has a different expression. He's closing his eyes in enjoyment. Do you move away? Oh wow, we have the option to move away or not move away. Okay, I think the best way to let Terrance enjoy this is to not move away. And, let Terrance see Fen soaked in his own cream, which I think would be a very good sight to behold for Terrance. Okay, so Terrance just, exploded, and it's like a hose, a fire hose bursting a torrent of cream onto Fen's face. Wow. While you were expecting a bit of a mess, the sheer amount of that shoots out surprises you. You were expecting only a bit of a mess? I was expecting a lot. Okay, so it says that Fen and Terrance are hugging each other tightly, and they're letting the cream of Terrance, splash in between them, and I think that's very nice and kind of romantic and very intimate. Okay, so this view just shows Fen is fully soaked by Terrance's cream. His face is soaked, his chest, and even his abs. It's just all over him. Okay, and now this view just shows Fen is still fully soaked, and Terrance's member is now out of the view. So we can see Fen soaked in his upper body. Okay, so quick summary of what happened. So first, Terrance was enjoying the cleaning that Fen was doing. So eventually, Terrance became erect. His pole was standing up, and Fen saw it. And Terrance offered to Fen that he could wash his junk. And of course, we obliged. Fen obliged and began to continue to soap Terrance, but he was doing it more to feel Terrance up and less about cleaning him. It was more intimate now, and Terrance was enjoying it, and Terrance was, of course, his pole was standing up. And then Fen offered to do a thorough cleaning of his pole. And what he meant by that is, of course, to do a hand service on Terrance. But it was actually a hand and pectoral service, because he was putting Terrance's member on Fen's big pecs, and he was using it to pleasure Terrance. So while he was stroking Terrance with his hand and his pecs, eventually Terrance was nearing his climax, and we were given a choice actually to move away or not, but I think it was more intimate that Fen did not move away and let the cream spray into him fully. And it said that the two of them hugged. Fen and Terrance hugged, and they let the cream, go between them. And I think that was hot and kind of romantic too. So after that, Terrance gave a smile towards Fen and rested his forehead on Fen, which I think is a signal that Terrance liked it and he enjoyed it, and that he maybe has a deeper feeling for Fen now. So let's continue reading. As he rests, you look around. While both of you are covered in a thick layer of The courtyard itself is remarkably clean. Standing up, you grab a cup from the now cool basin and begin to pour the water over the pair of you, washing away the mess.
See, friend.
When the horse speaks, you turn to look at him. He's still sitting on the stool, but is watching you with a strange expression.
You know, I do want to thank you for all this. You went above and beyond.
You feel yourself blushing slightly, as you know full well you were enjoying yourself just as much as the horse was, maybe even more in some ways.
So I was thinking, I normally help Gunther out after, so why not let me help you out? I mean, I think you can use it.
He looks pointedly at your own still hard, and you blush more when you realize he's offering to you off. Before we end the video, I would like to give a massive thank you to our patrons. Your support means more than the world to us. It means the galaxy to us. And a special shout out to AGN for becoming a Lightfall associate. Thank you so much. Check out patreon.com/arcandray07 to be a patron today. Ciao!